Good evening and welcome to Monday's World of Weather. You clicked on to Long Range Weather Forecast discussion for December 30th through January 11th. We're looking here at the AO index, and you can see it's positive, then goes negative for day 7 and remains negative through day 14. That's a pretty good sign of cold air allowed into the east, if you like cold weather. The PNA is also positive and remains generally positive through day 14. Okay, this is the PNA. Now, the patterns forecast consists of a ridge trough pattern for December 30th through January 3rd. The cold polar vortex will readjust to position over southeast Canada. The pattern favors warm in the west and cold in the east. The southwest will remain dry. Temperatures in the west should average 20 degrees above normal and 20 to 30 degrees below normal in the east. Now, this is for the period. One thing I'm going ahead. The European package is not in agreement with the GFS solution. The GFS warms eastern U.S. by day 6. The European cools the east. Arctic air is set to invade the eastern U.S. and should set the stage for accumulating snow for the Mid-Atlantic next week. Some of the models suggest a major winter storm. However, the deterministics do not show this feature. Okay, we're going to look at the pattern now for January 2nd to the 6th. The ensembles forecast a ridge over the eastern Pacific. A trough is forecast near Hudson Bay to southeast Canada. This trough is forecast to dominate most of the nation for January 2nd to the 6th. The models and ensembles are in agreement with this solution. So I'm going to look here first. This is the GFS that shows the temperatures. This is for the 4th. This is at 6Z. And we're looking at next Sunday, the 5th. Temperatures are below freezing in the 20s. And then we have 60s here across California, 30s here, 40s down here across the southern plains. And we go to next Monday. We still have very cold here in the east, extremely cold air here across Canada. We have 40s again in southern plains, 50s, and 60s. Okay, now I'm going to look at the European ensembles. And as you can see, the European ensembles, this is on the 31st. You can see we have a broad trough across the eastern U.S. You can see clearly see the polar vortex over Hudson Bay, and we have our ridge over in the west. Now this is the European deterministics, and generally show the same thing. We have our polar vortex over Hudson Bay and a ridge in the east. Next thing we're going to look at, this is the GFS ensembles, and you can still see they show pretty much the same thing, and then the GFS models, same. Now, as we go further into the period, this is what I'm going to show you later on. So during this forecast period, and forecasting above normal temperatures here, below normal temperatures for this region. For precipitation, calling for below normal precipitation for the western states and above normal temperatures, precipitation for the southeast. Okay, now later in the period, for January 7th to the 11th, the models and ensembles are indicating a deamplification of the flow across the nation. So this is the 5th. We go out to 6th, the 7th. And you can see that heights begin to rise here over the northeast and mid-Atlantic. The heights fall here in the west, in the central U.S. This is the European. On the same time, this is the European deterministics. Going out to the 6th, it also shows warming in the east. Now this is the GFS. And it shows warming taking place here across the eastern U.S. and heights fall in the west. And the GFS shows the same thing, kind of holds on here to the cold air a little bit. But one thing I know is the European and the deterministics GFS are faster to rise heights in the east than their ensembles. Heights are forecast to rise in the east and fall in the west, as I just said. So during this forecast period, let me see if I can get the maps up. And I'm forecasting below normal temperatures here for precipitation, below normal precipitation for this area, and above normal precipitation for the Mississippi Valley. So that is the long-range weather forecast discussion for December 30th through January 11th. Thank you for coming to Jim Munley's World of Weather, and have a good day.